That was somebody's child.
I think that it was irresponsible. I think that it was unnecessarily provocative. But I think it only cleared why many of us said, let's go to the federal government from the first place.
I'm not making sure. I'm giving an analysis that
turn it off already. We know what happened here. All right, turn it off. Turn it off. It's a tragedy all around. There's enough blame to go around. But who do you blame for the riots and looting? Who do you blame for the riots and looting? Who do you blame for the businesses that were burned to the ground, all minority-owned? Walgreens, Little Caesars Pizza, AutoZone, Beautytown, Title Max, Family Dollar Store, and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Who do you blame for burning these stores to the grounds? Cake store attacked by vandals. Who do you blame for not reporting that this innocent young man, Michael Brown, was not returning from a medical school class in anatomy or physiology? He was not walking back from college. He had just beaten up an immigrant Indian shopkeeper. It's on tape for you to watch if you care to watch it. Beat the guy up, threw him around like a little rag doll in his store, then robbed his store of cigarillos and whatever. Petty larceny and an assault. And he was out on the street, and the Indian shopkeeper called 911. The police were looking for someone who matched the description of Brown. Wilson saw him, said, go over to the sidewalk. The rest is history. You've read everything. You've heard everything. But why is that left out of the narrative? That this kid was not coming from medical school, from an anatomy lab. That he was just they made it sound like an innocent black guy was walking around and a white guy looked for him and hunted him down and shot him. That's Al Sharpton. That's Jesse Jackson. That's Eric Holder. That's Barack Obama. That was their narrative from day one, damn it. This is not an easy show for me to do, but I'll tell you where the blame lies. It lies in the White House. The Obama machine laid the groundwork for Ferguson from the get-go. From the day they seized power, from the day they were foisted upon us, they've been dividing and turning us against each other. And all they've ever done is talk about racial enmity in this country. They have set racial relations back 50 years in this country. They have set it back. Every speech that they have given, Michelle Obama included, you say, where am I coming from? I'll read you what she said last June at a college, at a high school to high school graduates. Here's Michelle Obama, the First Lady, and I asked, is she trying to agitate these children? Stir them up to do what? And I put it in my book called Stop the Coming Civil War because I saw what they were doing. Let me read what she said to these children in a minority school. She said this. She said, the fact is that your experience here in Topeka would have been unimaginable back in 1954 when Brown versus Board of Education first went to the Supreme Court. This would not be possible. Back then, Topeka, like so many cities, was segregated. So black folks and white folks had separate restaurants, separate hotels, separate movie theaters, swimming pools, and, of course, the elementary schools were segregated, too. And I asked you, how do you feel about the First Lady stirring up such racial enmity in this speech? How would you feel if I told you that I believe it's not an isolated incident? And then on page 3, see, I saw this coming. I didn't know how it would come, but I saw this coming. They were laying the groundwork for a conflagration in the country. And then I quote Attorney General Eric Holder in his graduation speech. You want to hear what he said? The man of peace? Here's what Eric Holder said. Codified segregation of public schools has been barred since Brown versus Board of Education. But in too many of our school districts, significant divisions persist and segregation has reoccurred, including, listen to this carefully, zero-tolerance school discipline practices that, while well-intentioned and aimed at promoting school safety, affect black males at a rate 3 times higher than their white peers. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Don't listen to the law. Don't follow the rules. We'll cover you. We got you back. Thank you, Eric Holder. Did you hear what Eric Holder said? He told his audience that black males are targeted not because they cause more disruption and violence in the classroom, but because they're black. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? They have a narrative. I saw this coming from the get-go, from day one. My first chapter in Stop the Coming Civil War is called Graduating to Treason, ? Graduating to treason. And as far as I'm concerned, this entire administration is responsible. From day one. How do you think they came to power? Do you think that Barack Obama was picked for the presidency because of his genius? Do you think Eric Holder was picked to be the top law enforcement official in the United States of America because of his genius? You know why they were picked. You know how they got where they are. You know how they got where they are and stay where they are. They're Al Sharpton with a smoother act. It's as though Al Sharpton's running America. Why do I say it? Because he is running America. He picked the next attorney general, they say. He's in the White House, in and out of the White House. Not a PhD in chemistry, not a Nobel Prize winner in physics, but a street agitator is a confidant of Eric Holder and Barack Obama. So what do you expect? The man who gave us Freddie's Fashion Mart and Tawana Brawley may as well be in the White House, because that's what we have. So you got a lot to blame here, don't you? Now, this won't bring Michael Brown back, and it's unfortunate that he got into this confrontation with a police officer. But let me tell you something I learned when I was a kid. I didn't grow up in a neighborhood like that, but I grew up in a neighborhood where there was trouble, and I was warned by one of my friend's fathers, if a cop ever pulls you over for a ticket, say, yes, sir, and give him your license. If you're ever stopped by a cop in the streets, don't argue with them. Don't fight with them. They are the law. That's what I was told. And that's why none of us got shot by a cop. That's why none of us got beaten up behind a police station with a nightstick. They are the law. They are the law. They are given the authority to uphold the law. And let me tell you something else. Many of you don't even know what Ferguson, Missouri is, or where it is, or what it's like. You think it's a slum, don't you? You think it's an impoverished slum. Well, it isn't. It isn't. It looks like a Norman Rockwell suburb. It's clean. It was beautiful until the out-of-state agitators were brought in. The same out-of-state agitators that gave us Barack Obama were brought into Ferguson, and they stayed there, they camped there, and they agitated until this happened, until the city was almost burnt to the ground. Same in Oakland, California. What do they do for a living, these professional rioters? Don't seem to have any jobs at night. Doesn't seem they were home last night at 11 o'clock. They were out in the street burning and looting, weren't they? What a disgrace it really is. That's how you that's how you show your concern about someone's civil rights. You rob a pair of sneakers. You break into an auto store and you rob a battery. That's how you show your unhappiness. Yeah, I blame the media as well, by the way. I couldn't believe what I was watching last night. Fox News included that Shepard Smith should go down in the Hall of Shame for one of the worst people in the history of television. They say, oh, where are the police when this fire is starting? I wonder why there's no police reaction. Where's the police reaction? This is done by a bunch of amateurs, they kept saying. And what if the police had preemptively acted? Shep. What if the police had gone in to take the matches out of the hands of the children who are about to burn the building down, Shep? What would you have said? They overreacted? They acted too soon. They should have let the children, the poor minority children, play with matches and gasoline. And they denied their civil rights. They denied them their expression of their civil rights by taking away the matches and the gasoline, Shep. Of course that's what you would have said. The media burnt that city to the ground. The media burnt that city to the ground. And how many months were they there? That moron from CNN, Don Lemon, put on his flak jacket. He almost lived there. Going around with a camera to every one of the lowlifes he could find in the street. Whoever was more low, he found. Asked them their feelings. Stirred them up. You take the cameras away. You take the incentive away for them to act up. It's an old story. Didn't start in Ferguson, and it's not going to end in Ferguson. Go back to the 1960s. When Newark, New Jersey was burnt to the ground by minorities who went wild in the streets. Newark, now, we have to go down the list and play some of the sound that nobody got for us. So I have such great callers today. Sourpuss Krauthammer again attacked Trump because he's jealous of him. The fact is, you know that. Krauthammer once attacked me out of jealousy. He knows I'm a better man than him. With a more loyal audience. He knows that. So who does he attack now? The so-called conservative genius, the so-called intellectual genius, Krauthammer. Listen to this post-debate comment by the saddest, most sour man in the history of the media on clip 17.
The real story is the collapse of Trump in this debate. The fact is
the collapse of sauerkraut.
And when you think about it, when he's free form, when he's uninterrupted, when he can do the flight of ideas, when he can go on his own and ramble, he's entertaining, he's sharp, and he's actually amusing. But
10
here,
times
when he
smarter
was
than you are,
and in a tight setting, he was lost for most of the debate.
All right,
I think
you get the picture. Why don't you have the guts, the big guts there to say the same thing about Obama, Krauthammer? You big mouth when it comes to Trump. Why don't you say the same thing about Obama, you big shot, you phony, you? I'm the only one who'll take you on. Everyone's afraid to say a word about you for obvious reasons. Well, I'm not. I'm sick of this entire pack of jackals at Fox News. They are the CNN of today, by the way. I said this a while ago. You know, many of you are wondering why I was banned from Fox. This is not a personal thing to me. I could care less. I've survived without them. They've survived without me. We don't need each other. That's obvious. But I want to tell you something. I've asked myself for years, why am I banished from Fox News? There was a time I used to be, they would run after me because I brought them a huge audience, a tremendous spike in ratings. Why have I been banned from Fox News? I ask myself. Well, you don't have to go any farther than what you saw last night. I don't fit the agenda. I don't fit the agenda of whatever they're pushing here. And they're not pushing conservatism. That we know. It's the opposite of it. So they have become, today, there's been a movement in the media, in the media altogether. Fox today is CNN of 5 years ago. CNN today is MSNBC of 5 years ago. And MSNBC today is the CPUSA of today. I'll be right back.